It's doing it again. It stopped for a second. It's still dripping. I wonder if it's because I have my head slightly tilted that way. Why the other side isn't streaming too? Huh. Okay, so I just finished workout number 5. It is Sunday the 9th, April 9th, 2017. Today was a very strange day. I didn't get very much sleep. I got less sleep than usual because I ended up staying up late on my phone, posting pictures of my boys, talking to my wife, and just feeling disconnected from my family, which is a hard thing to deal with at night. It's like a loneliness, and just feeling like, you know, being in a weird room. I said it in a different video, like the room is just so weird. It's so tiny and it's...
Main menu.
Oops.
Available commands are redial.
No.
Call cancel.
Okay. That was my Bluetooth thing. I never use it. I hate it. Oh, come on.
Awkward moment of silence when you realize...
No, that's my... Oh, come on. That's my podcast player. Jesus. What a pain. Technology. Come on. I'm doing a video. You should override all the other crap. A video should cancel all other sound. Anyway, so I ended up staying up too late, just chatting and, you know, looking at pictures of my sons and watching videos and missing my whole family. So I ended up staying up till like about 1 on my phone, and then my roommates woke me up just talking loudly in the kitchen, and, you know, whatever. It's, to them it's, you know, it's 7 a.m. That's time to wake up, but I was still asleep. So I think I got about 6 hours or so. The good thing is my sleep now is much more restful than it was. So even at 6 hours, it's just barely enough sleep. Like it's not so little sleep that I can't get up and go to the gym. And I mean, it affects me. I can feel it right now that I'm not as focused. So right now I have a combination of the gym brain and being tired after my workout. So today we did, oh God, it was, today was hard for me because combination of things, being sore. I woke up sore, from the tour I was sore, from walking, you know, my legs and my feet. Although by the time I got to the gym, my feet were fine and my legs, I think wearing shoes without orthotics helps my feet just stretch and get relaxed. So I blame the orthotics really for a lot of the pain. Although without them, walking would be 2 or 3 times as painful. So, get to the gym, you know, low on sleep, sore from the 2 previous workouts, right? Friday, Saturday. Yeah, yep, Friday, Saturday, because I skipped Thursday. I was feeling sick, headache and weird ear stuff. So, 3rd workout in a row, tour yesterday, not enough sleep. Just feeling weird, and my mouth started getting dry, which is not, I don't think that's me being dehydrated. I'm definitely not dehydrated. I think it was more about not breathing correctly or something. Like I really did have a hard time focusing on getting all the movements, everything coordinated and good. There was a couple of moments in class I wanted to share. One was getting on towards the end of the class. After I feel, you know, warmed up, woken up, my muscles stopped bothering me, there was a moment where I started feeling like, okay, I'm coordinating. Actually, it happened twice. It happened early on when I was doing Supermans in the warm-up. So that's, you know, 2 or 3 minutes into the class. I started doing these Supermans, which is lay flat on your stomach and lift your arms and legs up. You know, picture Superman flying through the air. So you're lifting your arms and legs up, and you do 20 reps, 20 times. And I started getting into a rhythm. I'm like, okay, I can actually feel my entire body coordinating this one movement as like one solid unit. And the way I was breathing and my flexing and everything was all just like one. Instead of, I know in the past I've talked about it in some videos, you feel disjointed. You feel like your upper body's doing one thing, your lower body's trying to do something else. They're not moving together correctly. They're uncoordinated. this was the opposite of that. This was my entire body like playing the same note, or my, you know, the same movement, the same exact, everything was coordinated all at once. I felt that early on, and I felt that later doing V-ups. V-ups is like almost like the opposite of Superman. You lay on your back, lift one leg, and touch the opposite hand to that leg. So it's almost like a leg lift with a crunch, but you reach your arm up to. And so there are times now where I can kind of lock into like a pattern, and I feel my whole body. I can feel my legs working, my arms, my abs, of course, my lower and upper back working to kind of support the abs. So it's this really amazing moment of like coordination, physical coordination. Wow, my body can actually work together to do something instead of fighting itself. So that was good, even despite being tired and everything else. What else? There was a couple exercises that I pushed through. I pushed so incredibly hard through them that I kind of surprised myself. Like I was able to do, what was it? Like there was one, I think it was scissor kicks. Lay flat on your back and your legs go like this. You alternate. They go over the top of each other. And I was telling myself to do 20 of them. No, it wasn't the scissor kicks. It was something else. It was wipers or some other exercise where you're laying flat and your legs are moving. We did several of those today. Wipers is where both legs are like this and they just go side to side like a windshield wiper. Maybe it was those. But I told myself, okay, do 20 of them in the minute that we have. No matter what, do 20. Don't stop until you've hit 20 or go quick enough to do 20. And I actually ended up doing 25. And I was like, wow, that feels amazing. Pushing hard to get 25. So anything else interesting from today? Not really. I don't think so. The tug of war at the end was fun. Tug of war is a game for me from childhood. And usually my memory of tug of war would be from like 8th grade graduation or 8th grade promotion or whatever, like at the end of the year, or we'd have like parties at the end of the year. I don't know if we each did we do a graduation party? I can remember during school at least half a dozen times playing tug of war with your classmates. So it definitely had that feel of like juvenile competition and giddy excitement of like, and it was at the very end of the class. So it very much reminded me of like school, of like, oh, we're done with the year, we're done with 8th grade, we're going to 9th grade, let's go pull a big rope, you know, fight each other on a rope, and just a funny, you know, and it really hurt my grips. Like I gripped so hard just so I wouldn't lose my grip, and we won 2 out of 3. We lost the first one and won the second 2. I think what we realized is when you say go, if you just hold tight and you don't pull, at least this is how I thought of it, you hold tight and let them pull as hard as they can, and they start to tire. They will tire out, and once you start to feel that little bit of slack where they're starting to tire, then you pull double hard, and that's how you win. So it's a little bit of a strategy. So anyway, tug of war was fun. Hurt my grip, but still fun. And I was thinking in the class, there's very few moments that I have throughout my week or my month or my year that I have that are, for me, are like pure fun, that are just sheer like, not fun so much as, I'm trying to describe it, like youthful, exuberant fun is what I mean. Because I do a lot of stuff that is fun. You know, I play games on my computer, or play with my boys is very fun. Build Legos with Miles. Just playing with Lee, you know, spinning him, and then just like joking around with Mama. There's things that are fun for me, but in a way like more mental. This is more like physical, I guess. Physical fun, like I said, just pure youthful, joyful fun. And it's hard to get as a grown-up. Like, how do you get, I guess that's maybe why people love dancing so much. a lot of people that love to go out and dance. I'm not one of them. I don't really care for dancing. It's not my thing. Maybe in the future it will be if I'm lighter and it's easier on my knees and stuff. But I guess dancing is like a pure experience where it's just joy, just fun and joy, and it's physical, and you can lose yourself. It's just like, that's kind of like what I felt, I guess, playing the tug of war. Is just like, I don't know, I guess maybe because it's a competitive thing too, and I actually do enjoy that part of it, but it's all in good fun. It's not like, you know, aggressive. It's not like violent competition, you know, even though it has the word war in it. But so anyway, that was my day today. I'm really looking forward to tomorrow to weigh in. I know I'm going to be down. I know for sure I'm going to be down because I've eaten so well the whole week, and I walked the tour. I may try to walk the tour tonight. I'm going to see how I feel when I approach the golf cart. There's a point in the tour where I start walking out from the office, and the golf cart is parked right at the top of the spine, right at the big hallway. And I can either take a right and go in the door and begin walking, or I can get in the golf cart and start the same path with the golf cart. It's up to me. So I'm going to see how my legs and feet feel right then at that moment, and then I'll decide golf cart or no golf cart. I'm thinking now no golf cart because I'm loving this pushing myself. Physically I'm pushing myself in the classes. Mentally I'm pushing myself to shed all the old stuff, you know, all the negativity and just the old habits of like, oh, I'm so big and it's so hard, and you know, all the stuff that locks you in mentally. I'm pushing hard against that. I'm pushing against temptation to eat bad food. Although coffee creamer at work, I'm still having like one of the little ones, either in a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. But again, I don't care. It's 30 calories. I'm not going to stress over it. I don't know why that keeps coming up. It's like my one sin that I can't be absolved of. I confess it, but I can't be absolved. So I like the idea of pushing myself. I'm also pushing myself to learn how to code Android, which involves Java and XML. They're two different programming languages that they're interlinked. And Java is one of the hardest ones. I talked to Josh about it. He's got a master's in cybersecurity, and he's got a bachelor's in computer science with programming. So he knows, and he said, yeah, Java's like the hardest one of the hardest to learn. There's some other ones out there like BASIC, and there's some other languages that are harder than Java, but he's like, why are you learning Java? I said, that's what Android Studio wants me to try. This program I downloaded that's free called Android Studio has a bunch of tutorials, and they have you do Java. And so I'm pushing hard to learn something complex and technical on my own that can be useful, that I can use for other, you know, branching out into other areas of my life, programming an app for myself, or being a, you know, digital entrepreneur or something like that. So pushing hard on that front, pushing hard to, when I go home, to like maximize my time with my family, to feel like I spent a good chunk of time with my boys. I spent a good amount of time with my wife, which, you know, that one's, we've got to work on that one. That one suffers sometimes, but my boys, I try, you know, a full day with my boys if I can. And also the house, you know, getting the house a little bit better each time, you know, get the cupboard set up, stuff like that. Keeping my room clean at my new place, because at the castle I was forced to keep my room clean and the kitchen because people were coming around to see the property, and that pressure in a way made me better. It made me more conscientious of making a mess and having to clean it, or cleaning as I go, or just setting aside that extra 5 quick minutes to make the bed, you know, tidy up. You know, it doesn't take that long if you really build it into your routine. So what happened was, when I moved to the new place, to the rental with my 2 roommates, I was like, oh, I don't have to mess around with, like, I can feel free to skip. I don't have to make my bed every day. I don't, and for a week or so I got kind of sloppy. I became a little bit of a slob, and I remember thinking like, it's so awesome. And then looking around the room and going, no, a dirty room is not awesome. This is awful. It's harder to think. With a messy room and messy house, it's harder to think. It really is. It's an old-fashioned kind of thought, I think. It's like a, tidy work area makes you able to focus better. I think that probably goes back thousands of years. If you look at like the military was always about tidy barracks, tidy, keeping everything neat and orderly. Even the way they march in a line and stuff, and it's easier to focus on your mission or whatever. So this is not a new philosophy of keeping your room clean. So I'm pushing hard to, every day I try to do 1 or 2 things. That's kind of my thing now. It's, well, why did it work at the castle? Because every single day you had to do a couple of little things to keep the room clean and keep the kitchen clean. The kitchen at this place is about the same, because I can't just leave dishes everywhere. I have to be mindful of my roommates, so I'm constantly washing and keeping up. The only thing is, like, an example, I guess I'm realizing now none of this has anything to do with fitness, but it's catching up with me. And you get to see how sweaty I am too. In the kitchen, or in my room, I was coming home, taking the food containers out of my bag and just setting them on my shelf. And so I had this little collection of food containers with food in, food scraps, food residue inside. And I look over at the shelf and there's like 4 or 5 of them. I'm like, okay, this is ridiculous. You're pushing this to a limit. Like, you got to stop. You can't just be that lazy of like, oh, I'll just stash the food containers here, and then when it gets critical, if I need one or they start to stink, then I'll wash them. It's like, just grab them and go wash them. I did that this morning. I washed about 5 food containers. 2 from yesterday, and then the other 3 from the day before, 2 days before. So I just went straight away, and as I'm making my eggs and oatmeal, I washed them up. So I'm trying to do little things. I'm pushing hard to do little things like that each day. Instead of like, because like last Monday was like the breaking point for the cleanliness of my room, because every other Monday I clean the bathroom that we share. And so I began cleaning the bathroom. Then I come into my own room, I'm like, man, my room is messy. So then I clean my room, and I realize it kind of sucks to have to clean for 30 minutes straight, clean my room. It was about 30 minutes, I would say, maybe a little less. It's not a big room, so it's not that hard, but I had like a bag, a paper bag full of bottles, water bottles and stuff from work, and protein, the bottle for my protein, just a little recycling dump that I had in my own room. I had to take that out, all the way out to the big bin, So it did hit me like, why don't I do a couple of little things every day instead of at the end of the week cleaning for 30 minutes? So that's what I've been doing. And one of the things I'm really trying to push is like these little mental habits. And one of them I read, again, from that guy Tim Ferriss, who I've mentioned I think 3 times now. He's the 4-Hour Work Week guy and the Tools of Titans. He's an author and a entrepreneur, has a podcast. He's a digital entrepreneur. So he said that there's 5 habits that he recommends people start and get into, and it'll improve their life greatly. And one of them is super simple, and it's something that I haven't in the past have not had the discipline to do every day, and that's make my bed. Now when I was a kid, my mom and dad would make me make my bed, and you would think that after so many years of doing it as a kid, it would be a habit and you would just do it. But I think when you become a grown-up, then it's like, you live alone or whatever, there's no one there to say like, can you make the bed? you just let it go. You're like, I'm gonna go lay down in it in 8 hours anyway and sleep. Why make it? What Tim Ferriss says about making your bed in the morning every time is, when you come back to the bed at night and it's made, and you climb in underneath, you got a nice top sheet, and the bed feels good, and it's, you know, it's this mental reminder of the very first victory of the day, the very first thing that you got up and you won. You put a stamp on the day. You said, I had a little tiny victory this morning. I made this bed, a habit that I kept up. Boom. And then at night it reminds you. It's like even if you had a terrible day, you got nothing done, things didn't go your way, you lay down in the bed with the made bed that you made, and it's a little mental boost of, this was my little victory in the morning. Some of the other things he recommends is daily meditation, writing down your, he recommends you have like a little notebook and you write down things you're grateful for, things, if, you know, 5 things that would make today awesome. It's like 3 different little group exercise, you know, chunks of writing. Like something that would make today awesome, 3 things you're grateful for. I can't remember the third one. And I did this maybe twice. I never picked up the habit, but it is pretty powerful to do that. To write down, like, today would be awesome if I, you know, got an hour of mixing, you know, got 2 lessons of my Android done, you know, you write down these things. And then when you come back and you look at it at the end of the day, you're like, oh, I did actually accomplish those 4 things. That was awesome. What else does he recommend? Oh, he starts his day with it's actually a turmeric. It's like a tea, turmeric powder tea. I don't know if it's like the golden milk. I'm not sure if it's actually that, but it's like a turmeric powder in a tea, a silver, some kind of like white tea or green tea, and then he puts coconut oil in it, and he calls it his platinum tea, and it's like just a health boost, good for your joints and your you know, feed your brain. This is a total aside. So it's the make your bed, do the little mini journal. Oh, make your bed, mini journal, platinum tea, meditation, and the other one was like, just do, you know, a small handful of reps of a certain exercise. So just get in the habit of, like, as part of your morning routine, do 5 or 10 push-ups or squats or whatever you want. And just build that into your routine, and before you know it, it'll be like you won't even think about it, and you'll just start doing push-ups in the morning or whatever. So none of these I really got down and have fully incorporated, but I've been trying, and the making the bed is probably the one that I'm getting closest to consistently doing. I would say I do it, you know, 5 out of 7 days. At home it's harder. I should do it at home too. It shouldn't matter where I am, but anyway, there's another 23-minute long video of me rambling about random stuff, but it's going good. Let's see if my arm looks increased, my muscle from the workout today. Yeah, I am getting more muscular, but it takes so much work, man. Anyway, all right, I'm going to end the video there. Time to go inside and cool off. See you next video. Tomorrow will be the weigh-in. Woohoo!